Hey friend, are you still going to the grocery store without a list and just kind of wandering the aisles, trying to figure out what you need to make for dinner, what you're going to have for lunches, what you're going to take for breakfast? And if you have kids, it's even more difficult because you might have to pack lunches for them, for school, different kids, different requirements. So today, I'm going to show you how I do my meal planning and grocery list before I go to the store. I do this every week, so if this is something that might be helpful for you, I want you to stay tuned. This is going to be a very basic, simple video, but I really think it's important to plan your meals and also plan your shopping list, because if you don't do that, then you're basically just flying blind. So I want to show you how I do it, and then we can talk about it. First, what I do is I try to figure out what it is that I want to make for my meals. So I'm going to flip to a new page in here, and I'm going to write down, first I'm going to write down what we're having. And so this is the week of St. Patrick's Day. So I'm going to make a corned beef, which I already have because I bought one on sale last week, but I have these out so I can remember. So I'm going to first write down, so we're going to do corned beef. And I'm actually going to make a corned beef casserole. It's like a Reuben casserole. I'll put that here. I'm going to make the corned beef probably Monday in the crock pot. No, I'm going to do it in the oven. I've been back and forth about oven versus crock pot. So I'm going to do it in the oven. I'm going to slow cook it in the oven. And then I'm going to take it on Tuesday and make it into this Reuben casserole. So we'll probably eat this for 2 nights. So it'll be Tuesday and Wednesday. And what I need for this is I need kraut. I don't know how to spell that. R-A-U-T, sauerkraut. I need Thousand Island dressing. I think it calls for, I don't have the recipe here. I think it calls for potatoes. I have potatoes. We'll have the corned beef. I think that's it. So I'll double check my recipe before I go to the store, but this is probably all that I need to pick up. I think I have a lot of staples. So, oh, rye bread. I knew there was something else. Rye bread. Okay. And so that is what we need for this casserole. This is going to be 2 days a week, or 2 days of the week. Today is Sunday. And so we need dinner for Sunday and Monday. And I'm going to make chicken spaghetti. Let me write this down. I made chicken spaghetti last week. If you saw my Aldi haul, it was amazing. I loved it. I've made it before, but I didn't realize how much I really loved it. So I'm going to make that again because it was so good. Chicken spaghetti is basically chicken. I use ground chicken, so I need to get a package of ground chicken. You can use any kind of chicken, though. I mean, I think most people use like rotisserie chicken or just like chicken breast and they cut it up or whatever. But I'm a big fan of the ground chicken, especially at Aldi. It's less than $4 for a pound, so super good value. So it is a pound. I sometimes will just use a half a pound because I don't really like meat too much. Ground chicken, a can of diced tomatoes. I usually have those on hand, but I don't think I have any, so I'm gonna have to get that. You need a can of cream soup, and the recipe I follow, I don't really follow a recipe, I'm going to be honest. The recipe, quote unquote, tends to call for cream of chicken. If you don't like cream of chicken, you can use cream of mushroom. I actually found the other day, oh, I do have a can of this. Okay, I may not need to buy this, but I found the other day at the store, I think it was Kroger, they had cream of chicken and mushroom. So that's like the best of both worlds, but I'm probably going to just use a cream of chicken. And then you need shredded cheese. So I'm going to get a block of like sharp cheddar, but if the shreds are cheaper, I'm going to get the shreds. Usually it's cheaper to buy a block of cheese, but I've been finding lately sometimes it's not. So if it's cheaper, whatever one's cheaper, I'm going to get that, either a block of cheese or shredded cheese. And if it's a block, I'll use half. And then you need Velveeta, but I have that from last week. So I used half of a small package of Velveeta cheese. Not those big ones, but the smaller ones. Not the teeny tiny ones. There's like a mid-size. It's basically like a cup or 2 cups, whatever you like. Depends on how much cheese you want in there. So the Velveeta I already have. I don't need to buy that. Spaghetti, actually. I don't think I have any. I have lots of like medium shells and penne and all the things like that. No actual spaghetti. So I'm going to buy a box of spaghetti. Last week I made it for just the two of us, and I used probably 3/4 of a box. I'm going to make a whole box because then I'm like, what am I going to do with the third of a box, quarter of a box of pasta? So I am going to make the whole box, which means I might need to increase a little bit of my ingredients. I might do 2 cans. I might do 2 cans of tomatoes, or like 1.5 cans and see where that looks, how that looks. A lot of this is just like eyeballing it with this recipe. It's just so easy to just throw it all together. You essentially, what you do, you take onions, garlic, and cook it in a pan with oil. And then if your chicken is not cooked, you'll cook that in there too. So for me, I'm going to brown the ground chicken. And then you add in all the other stuff. So you'll add in a can of tomatoes with the juice, a can of the cream soup, and all your cheese. You mix it up, melt it all together. It makes a sauce. Take your pasta, drain it, throw it in, mix it up. You're done. That's pretty much it. That's so simple. I do like to reserve a little bit of the pasta water in case it's a little dry. You can add that in, just a little pasta water. But I think this is it. So chicken, I've got onions I need to chop at home. I've got garlic jarred in the fridge. Sometimes recipes call for chicken broth, and I think that's just to thin it. I don't use that. I feel like I don't need it to be thinned because of the liquid from the diced tomatoes, and then maybe a little pasta water if I need it, but you don't need to buy that, in my opinion. All right, so we're going to do chicken spaghetti, and this is going to be Sunday, Monday. Then we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, so I need something for Thursday and Friday. Let's see. I know I've got some chicken in the freezer that we could have, and I'll have vegetables for like salads and stuff. So we might just usually we do pizza on Fridays. Okay, so we're going to do pizza Friday. I've got one in the freezer from Aldi, so we're going to do pizza Friday. And then Thursday, we could either do like cleaning out the fridge, basically eating any leftovers that we have, or what could we do? Okay, actually, you know what? I'm looking at this. This is not right. Monday is St. Patrick's Day, so this is not how I wanted to do this. We're going to do chicken spaghetti for Sunday and Tuesday, and then this is going to be Monday and Wednesday. All right, there we go. I don't really mind keeping leftovers. In fact, I actually prefer to not have leftovers back to back, so this works out perfectly. So we'll have it Monday for St. Patrick's Day, and then Wednesday, Sunday, and then Tuesday. Still leaves us with Thursday, though, and Friday. So Thursday, like I was saying, we could just clean out the fridge. We're just going to do fridge. I'm going to put the fridge. We're just going to eat from the fridge, DGE. And it's kind of a helpy selfie situation. But we'll probably have a little bit of each of these left. And I do have some, like I said, I've got vegetables, we'll have salads, I've got stuff in the freezer. So we should be good. But these are the things I need to get from the store. Now, I don't need this, but I already have it. So from the store, make a little line here. I also need to get cottage cheese. I need chips. I need milk. I need lunch stuff for my husband for his salads, and I need salad stuff for me. Oh, and I need flour because I'm baking bread this week. I'm going to get 2 things of flour. I think that's it. Now, this is kind of a lot of stuff. It doesn't look like it, but because we've got the holiday in there and the bread baking, we might go over budget. It's going to be tight. We have a $90 grocery budget for this week. I could consider that, like, the holiday, I could pull this out of my March holiday binder because this is a March holiday. So I could do that, combine that with like my Easter budget, which is also March, even though I think Easter is April this year. But so that's one way that I will buffer this if we go over budget, but we'll see. We might not. So this is my list for the week, and this makes sense to me. You could, what I sometimes would do is I would write out my meal plan, and then I would do another page with the actual grocery list. But I think I've actually got a grocery list started in my phone. So I'll probably, which is what I'm filming on. I'll probably just transcribe that and make sure I've got everything here. So this is the recipe. I'm not going to be using any of these things. I'm just going to use the packet. Maybe I'll squeeze some mustard on the top because I do like mustard a lot. And I'll probably put a little apple cider vinegar in the bottom of the pan. I've never done that, but that's what it says to do. So then the other thing I have to do this week is I have to make some soda bread. I've never made Irish soda bread. Oh, there we go. Buttermilk. This recipe and actually all the other recipes I've seen call for buttermilk. And I have never cooked with buttermilk. I don't know that I've ever bought it, but I'm going to have to try to find it because I need 2¼ cups, 18 ounces of buttermilk. So I'll probably have to go to Kroger for that. I like to shop all my groceries at Aldi first, and then I head over to Kroger to get whatever else I can't get, which is my Fairlife milk, probably buttermilk. But you never know. We'll see. Might also spring for some Irish butter, but we'll see. This is because I'm taking this to a meeting that I have on Wednesday, so I have to bake this on Tuesday. I better write this down. So I'm going to bake Tuesday. And I also have some sourdough bread. I just discovered a new version of a sourdough recipe. It's called Sourdough for Lazy People. And I have a sourdough starter that's been in my fridge for a long time, but I just can't quite get the timing down to make a sourdough bread. And it's because it's like a multi-day process. This recipe, you mix up the batter, the dough. You mix up the dough, then you wait 12 hours, depending on how long it takes to double in size. And then you form it. You don't even have to there's no stretch and folds if you're familiar with sourdough. You basically just form it, put it into your Dutch oven, let it do a rise for 90 minutes, and then you bake it. That's it. I can link the recipe if anybody's interested, but I made a loaf last week. It was amazing. So I'm going to bake this bread Tuesday, and then probably today. No, wait. Yes, today I can bake I'm going to bake a sourdough today to go with, well, we don't need it for any of these things. Probably to go with lunches. We'll have salads and a little bit of crusty bread. So now the key to all of this is sticking to your list. So if I have any advice for you, it's two things. One, to grocery shop with cash, and two, stick to your list. This is where I often go off the rails, is just wandering around the store. I've thought about actually doing like pickup orders because I think that would help me to keep in line. I'm not going to be tempted to buy other things, but especially at Aldi, you guys, am I right? That aisle of shame. Oh my goodness. There's always something in there that I think I need. But I want to show you. So this is my grocery thing. This is my budget. So 50, 60, 70, 80, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So I spent $6 yesterday I went to a play at the middle school, and I bought myself a Diet Coke, and I bought my niece an orange Fanta. So she was in the play. And so I bought her an orange Fanta to have after because I knew she'd be thirsty from all the singing and stuff like that. They did Beauty and the Beast. So I'm down $6. So I actually only have $84, which makes this it's a little more interesting. We'll see. $84 to get all the things on my list. I definitely think I can do it. Let me get these back in here. I think I can do it. So we're going to see. I'm not going to take you along with me, but I'm going to do my Aldi haul afterwards. So I just wanted to share, this is how I do this literally every week. And some people, some of the complaints that I've heard from people who don't meal plan is like, well, I don't know what I'm going to want to eat on, Thursday, or I don't know what I'm going to want to eat on Tuesday. That's okay. If you have a meal plan and you put, 2 to 3 things, depending on how big the meals are. If you have a lot of leftovers, like if you did a big, huge batch of chili, you could eat that for like 4 days if you wanted to. I'm pretty much like a two meal person. I don't want it more than that. So I try to make amounts that will fit just 2 days, having enough for 2 days. So you could make, like, if it weren't for this holiday, like I'm definitely going to have this on St. Patrick's Day because that's kind of like what you do. But if this were just a regular week with no holidays and no special foods, I would probably not even pick a day for these. I would just, as I go through the week, I'd probably think ahead for like on Sunday, I'd be like, okay, so what are we going to have for the next 2 days? And then I'd make that. And then the next day I'd be like, what are we going to do for like Thursday, Friday? And you can do that. But if you're just starting out, I highly recommend, my 2 cents, is to really plan it out. The meals, the days, and then you can be flexible with leftovers. You could even do, like for this, I could make this like Sunday, Monday, and then have all of this in the fridge to choose from whatever we feel like having, for the rest of the week. But yeah, you got to do what works for you, and you really do need to make it something that you're going to stick with. But this is my process every Sunday, or sometimes even on Saturday, I'll do this. Think ahead, figure out what I want to make, what we'd like to eat, pick the day that it's going to go on, write out my grocery list, cross-reference that with the stuff I have in my fridge and freezer and pantry, and then go to the store. Another way to do this, which I probably should have said in the beginning, is shop your pantry, shop your freezer first. So if you've got stuff in the freezer, you need to use it. I used to be like a freezer stockpiler, and I do tend to buy things in bulk, or, if there's a good deal on something, like I'll buy 2 of them. So for example, like corned beef will be probably very cheap after Tuesday, like after Monday, Tuesday. So I might buy another corned beef to stick in the freezer, but I'm not going to buy like 8 of them. We don't like corned beef that much, but still, that's like too much stuff to have in the freezer. I've really reined it in with my freezer and pantry. I do like to have a lot of staples, so don't get me wrong, especially with prices rising. I do think it's important to have some backups of your items that you use most, especially if it's like specialty things that are harder to find or that you're seeing the costs rising. But all that to say, definitely make sure that you're eating and using the stuff you have in your pantry and your freezer, because they will go bad. So always check your stock, check your rotations. And of course, like if you're putting canned foods or flour, like rice or whatever, things like that into your stockpile in your pantry, make sure that you're moving the older stuff to the front and you're using that first. So just another tip on how to rotate your stock. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say. This is my process. It works for me. I hope you find something that works for you. If you have any questions, please leave them down below for me. I'm happy to answer. And this is it for my meal plan, my budget, and my grocery shopping. Keep an eye out for my haul, and I'll see you in the next one.